Oops. Well, I have to do a mea culpa of sorts. For those of you who've been following the channel, you know, we do a weekly update of scores, statistics on the NFL as the games after the games are being played, and we also project the playoffs. And I've also been working on some new software that will actually predict and project the results of games that haven't been played yet, and I've been working on that feverishly for months and months and months, and I've kind of previewed it last week, and we're still fine-tuning, so I've got a bit of work to do, and obviously a whole lot to do in the off-season. But the reason for this video is in the process of all this and making the projections and picking the playoff seeds, I made a critical error in that picking the conference seeds, in particular seeds 1 through 4, I kind of was using the head-to-head as a tiebreaker in a lot of cases, and that's one of the reasons why I had the Dallas Cowboys at seed number 4, when in reality the head-to-head is not the issue, it's the conference record, which puts Dallas as the 2nd seed. So obviously we're going to correct that, and on Thursday I'll update it even more. But the bottom line is, yes, I made a critical error there. I apologize for that, but for the most part, the statistics and everything else we generate on the website and everything else is definitely more accurate, and it's the interpretation of the data that really was the issue, and that's me. That's all on me. So once again, mea culpa on that, and moving forward, we'll make sure we don't have that issue. So let's get on with the rest of the video.
Eeny, meeny, chilly, beany, the spirits are about to speak.
Are they friendly spirits?
Friendly? Just listen.
Okay, we completed week 16, and now we are doing the Super Bowl playoff projections for the week 18. As we discussed, we do the projections, playoff projections, a little differently, because now instead of looking at where the teams would be seated as of week 16, we synthetically play the remaining 2 games, and we show you the results, which you're looking at, the predicted results for week 18. Now, I should remind you that in this case, we are not taking into account upsets. What we do is we look at who would be favored to win and lose in each game, and we play the games out as if that's what held. So in the remaining 2 games, the teams that were favored to win those 2 games, we get the 2 games added, and the teams that were slated to lose those games would lose them. So having said that, we take a look at the NFC East first. If that were the case, we have the Packers finishing at 14-3, which would be the number 1 seed. Now the number 2 seed would be the Cowboys at 13-4. Although the Buccaneers would also finish at 13-4, and the Rams at 13-4, the Cowboys by far have the better conference record. Now, unless the Cowboys lose to Arizona, which is the game slated for week 17, they would probably hold on to the number 2 seed And if they were to lose, they would probably drop down to number 4, more than likely, because the schedule remaining for the Buccaneers and the Rams are such that I don't think either of those teams will lose either of those games. Now, one other point I would make is I was talking about the fact that we're going to have a Monday night wildcard game. Now, if things continue and Dallas does hold on to the number 2 seed, the interesting thing is the way the playoffs are scheduled, both conferences, the most compelling game of wildcard weekend would be seed number 4 versus seed number 5. Seed number 2 plays seed 7, and seed number 3 plays seed 6. Now, it would be interesting to see what the networks would do in this case, since the Buccaneers would be the 4th seed, and the Cardinals would be the 5th seed, so that would be the most competitive and compelling game in theory. But my guess is, as I've said, going all the way back to early October, I think regardless of where the Cowboys finish, if they're not the number 1 seed, they will be the Monday Night Football game. We'll see if that remains to be true. And we finish up the seeding with the Cardinals at 11-6, number 5, followed by the Eagles, who would finish at 9-8 at number 6, and the New Orleans Saints at 9-8, who would finish at number 7. And if we look at the right side of the bracket, and those are the seeds accordingly for the NFC. Number 1, Green Bay. Number 2, Dallas. Number 3, Los Angeles Rams. Number 4, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 5, Cardinals. 6, Philadelphia Eagles. And 7, the New Orleans Saints. Now, the AFC is a lot more tricky because even with 2 games left to play, there's a lot of teams within 1 game of each other. So an upset in almost any game could tilt the seedings to be different. But our projection, based on who we think will win, would put the Chiefs at number 1 seed, 13-4, followed by the Titans at 12-5, number 2, followed by the Bills at 11-6, and number 4 would be the Pittsburgh Steelers at 10-6. You can see there's almost a virtual tie between the Steelers and the Bengals, so they could conceivably swap spots between the number 6 seed and the number 4 seed. But we'll see with 2 games left to play. And the number 5 seed would go to the New England Patriots, followed by the Cincinnati Bengals at 10-7, and finally the Indianapolis Colts would get the 7th seed. And basically the left side of the bracket, which has our playoff structure looking like this. Number 1 seed, Kansas City. Number 2, Tennessee Titans. Number 3, Buffalo Bills. Number 4, Pittsburgh Steelers. 5, New England Patriots. 6, Cincinnati Bengals. And 7, the Indianapolis Colts. That's our projections after Week 16 with 2 games left to play, and we will see what happens after this week's games, and wish everybody a happy holiday out there, and that's where we stand. Thank you for tuning in.
Ooh, push that button.